Alright, hello everybody. Hello from your favorite artist electronist here, Mr. Q12. With fantastic development, fantastic stuff. It's not all mine, unfortunately. And it's in collaboration, if you want, with some guy from Arduino forums. And I also read a lot, and I also watched some YouTube movies about this subject. And it wasn't easy, it wasn't fun, but now it is fun after I solved the issue, the problem. So let me show you first a very quick look into it, just to make you happy. And then I will explain in depth what I actually did and how all this shebang is actually working. So right now I will start the program. This is a C# program, and I'm having here already connected to, you see COM5 is already selected, and the baud rate is already selected, and you can read them here. I have these 4 pins, starting with pin 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see in my video there, when I'm pressing this button, look, that LED is opening without programming the Arduino board. You can see the Arduino board, that one, but I'm not actually programming it. I'm actually sending via serial COM5. In my case, these are all the serial communication protocols that I'm having in my computer right now activated. COM8 and 9 are virtual. CNC A0, CNC B0 are also virtual. Only COM1 and COM5 are real COM protocols, and they are actually used and in use. Usually my COM5 is for my Arduino. When I plug it out from Arduino, COM5 disappears and remains only COM1 because I have a USB hub that is COM1 and it's having 10 USBs connected to it. So that's the history of what you are seeing there. COM8 and COM9, I will get to them later and I will show you and I will explain everything. So now pin 2, as you can see, is open. Pin 3 is open. Let me... That's pin 3 on, pin 4, and pin 5. And it doesn't matter the order. If I want to close pin 4, pin 2, pin 3, and then pin 5, they will open and close, as you can see, from my commanding program that I'm having here. I have a clear text box button that is clearing everything, and here it is. As you can see, 5H and 5L is send for this pin, and for this one is 3H, as you can see, and 3L. It means pin number 3 high and pin number 3 low. That's what it means. And it's my this is my shortcut of coding it. You can actually add whatever you want there as a code to transmit, but the shorter, the simpler, the better, pretty much. And that's what I did there. And that's it with the presentation. I hope you like it. Yeah, I will start to explain at this point what the hell did I did, how everything is working, and how you can do it, pretty much. All right, this is the circuit diagram, and this is the picture here of the actual circuit. It's really nothing. It's extra mega simple. This is a quick test circuit. I have these 4 LEDs that are pointing towards 0 volts or ground pin. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, but here in this picture you can't actually see it, unfortunately, but try to believe me, it is on that pin. But trust me, you can see this black wire, it represents the negative. You can see these tiny little links there. It means that it's linking each pin of all those 4 LEDs, exactly like in this side here. And then a 10 kilo ohms resistor, and through this link you see it, this resistor is terminating on this line here, and then it's continuing to this ground wire. And then these 4 links on 0, 1, so this is how you can barely see it here marked 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So starting with 2, finishing with 5 as well here in the circuit diagram. The first 2 I leave them free. I didn't touch them because these 2 pins here are linked directly to USB data pins. Data pins transmit and receive data pretty much, and well, if you can get some weird signals from these 2 pins. So technically it is possible to use them, but not really. Pretty much that's it. Simple, very basic test circuit with 4 LEDs. I could have added more LEDs if I wanted on the rest of the pins, but well, these are very good LEDs. They are going into microamps range, so I'm getting like 1 milliwatt per LED, which is extremely low wattage, extremely low consume, and is not really affecting or loading too much the output of the Arduino board. So I could put a lot more LEDs there because I trust them. They are extremely low power LEDs, what I'm using there. And that's it. This is the circuit, and yep. All right, so here on my desktop, if you pay attention this part, you see here, let me actually... All right, here in COM emulator folder, I have this picture. I just screenshot it. So I have all these programs that I recently got acquaintance with them. So this is a very new folder, what I'm having here. all the softwares that you are seeing here as a zip file, they are very new to me. What they are doing, they are simulating a COM port and a pair of serial communication. And the most used is this one, this setup G, and this Terra term. But not these two other two. But I did use them to figure out everything actually. So I kind of put head to head some details from one and from the other, and I formed an idea how to use them. And after that, it was a little bit more simpler to use what I needed to use. So let's open this one. I actually have a picture of it here. So I'm having this picture here just as a reminder. What the hell did I do the last time when I started all of this? So I didn't change any boxes that you are seeing here. I leave it by the default. After I installed this program, I believe I clicked this button, add pair. So you have to probably declare whatever COM you want here first, and then add pair. So that's what I did. I created this to COM9 and COM8, and I clicked on add pair, and it created this new pair. If I remember correctly, if it did it automatically when I first started, I don't really remember this exact detail, but theoretically that's how you can do it by yourself. If you are seeing this weird CNC A0, CNC B0, this is from this program, and you can check everything actually from device manager here, and I can close that, and we can look here. COM ports and LPT. LPT, it means the printer port. So serial communication and ports and printer port. So I'm having exactly what like in my program there, I have COM8 and COM9. It's from this virtual program here, this COM0 COM. So these two are the actual used COM ports that I'm having in my computer, but these two COM8 and COM9 are virtual, created by this software. All right, clear as mud until here? Okay, so after you make, as you can see here, if you are paying attention, it says there pair. There, you see that word pair is creating a virtual, you see, make it clear as mud. Virtual port pair is a pair of two ports, of virtual ports. This is from where I'm getting these names from. I'm reading them from this little software here. And the second software is this Terra term and serial. And here is a list with all available. We will use them, these virtual ports, in this case. So I will use COM9. And okay, now what? So after I made this, let's go back here, and you see here this folder, tests that didn't work with COM5, only with other virtual COMs, exactly what you are seeing right now. So I'm having 3 applications. I'm having some screenshots there, this and this, as you can see. And let's see the first one. Yeah, probably that's it. This is searching all the COMs available in my computer and is showing them here. This is COM9. I should choose COM8 here. Yeah, like this. Okay, because I'm using this COM and this COM. Okay, so now on COM8, if I'm sending FFF, is closed, I'm opening it, and now send data, and voila, ta-da! This is how it should work. And it doesn't matter what I'm writing here. Hello from another world, and send data. You see, it received on this communication port. So from this COM8 into this COM9 port. This is the trick, and this is the thing. And here I'm opening and closing the port. If I'm closing it, it says there is closed. And if I'm pressing this button, nothing is happening here. And if I'm opening it, when I'm pressing this button, is actually sending the data there whenever I'm pressing this button. All right. Now let me close this and show you the actual code. By the way, this is C#, if you didn't know. So these are the usings that I'm using, and let me actually make it full screen like this. Here is a detail. I will get to this detail a little bit later, but for now, to present the easy part of things, it's a little bit of discussion, but it's not that hard. So here I'm introducing this function info in the first initialization of the component. If serial port is open, write me that text and is on label. So this label here, this label 2 is updating, and I'm using this info in a lot of places here and here and here. In a couple of places, I'm using this info function, and my setup is this. Try that all the stuff, and I'm using it here and here. This is the line when it's getting all the ports names and is storing it into an array. And this port is used here. This checkbox that I'm having it here. This one, you can see it actually here. Checkbox COM port. Its name is getting all those ports. I'm selecting the first one to appear when I'm loading. To jump into the first one, and then my setup that I'm having here to read all the stuff. And when button open clicks, is this button when it's clicking is reading again my setup. When button is closing the serial port, and then is adding the info here on my label, is saying that that thing is closed. Send data, click this button here. when I'm clicking it, if serial is open, is writing the content of the text plus environment new line. When I'm changing from here, whatever port I want to change, is doing this automatically. Serial port is closing the serial port and is adding the info that the port is closed, and I have to open it again and run it. So this is all the code. Of course, I'm having a little bit of custom properties per each component that I'm having here. For each object, this text object, textbox Uno object is multi-line, and this is having this text on it. And this is an object that you can, this serial port Uno, that you can see it here in a lot of places mentioned. You see it here. Is this actually this component here, and this one you can find it here. You see under components here you can add it. That's how I inserted it here. So this is important to add it first here, and also change its properties, its name, and what port to open with. Probably when it's first opening, yeah, it's not going to COM5, but it is jumping to 1 there. Okay, all right. So let me close this one, and let's open the second application. Let's see what this is doing here. This one, I believe, is doing the same thing as the first one. Let's see if I can actually write something with this. So to this COM9. This is important to have it correct. And here, connect. No, it doesn't let me. Huh? Why? Okay, then. COM9, COM8. Sorry. This connect. Now connected. And now when I'm sending test is there. You see, test 1, 2, 3, and it's. Yeah, I didn't put a new line probably there, but it's adding like that. Let's see, you see, it's adding this text, and here is its code. This is starting with the usings. Yeah, it is definitely different. You see, this is how I'm initializing this serial port. This is actually after a German guy from YouTube. I find it, and I actually print screen its video code, and I actually write it by hand every piece of code that you are seeing here, and you can do the same. Probably maybe I will include all these files that you are seeing here into a zip file and make it public for you to download, most probably. So this is this program. This is the third program. This number 3 actually is a failure, but I leave it there. So I will delete it because this is not shit. Okay, delete. Yes, all motherfuckers. All. That was a failure immediately after I find how to make it right. So that application 3 is not actually correct. And this is another way of using this application DOE, this program. You open it 2 times. As you can see, I navigated. So here in Windows Form applications, I'm entering in it, and I'm entering into the debug folder, and I'm opening the same application 2 times from here. Here, I'm choosing COM9, and here I'm choosing COM8, and I'm connecting to it. But pay attention that I didn't let open this Terraform. I close it already. If you have it open, it will throw you an error and it will not connect. So you have to close that to be able to open this in this setup. And here I'm connecting as well. And now when I'm writing something here, test 1 and test 2, when I'm sending from COM9 to COM8, send, you see here, we send test 1, and here we received test 1, you see? Now when I'm sending from COM8 to COM9, test 2, here is sending test 2, and this one is receiving test 2. So you see, it's actually communicating via serial port in these 2 windows. So this is a little bit more advanced, but it's a very interesting way of communicating and how it should work. This is how it should work, how easy and simple should work. And I had a ton of problems figuring it out and to try the code and everything. So these are these 2 test programs that they work, as the title is saying here, test programs that didn't work with COM5, only with other virtual COMs. That, like I told you, I made them using this virtual COM pairing. Okay, all right, clear as mud. In this process, I got a ton of errors trying to make it work. They were stupid errors. I managed to make it work. So right now what I'm showing you is how it should work, because this was probably the hardest part for me to understand how it should work, how how it should look when it's working. And this is how you are checking if everything is open correctly and if it's alive correctly from Device Manager. All right. So we finished with this folder, and now we have these 2 folders. Here I'm having C#, as you can clearly read, C# COM terminal. This is the C# project, and this is the Arduino project. Come on, like that. So this is the actual code for the Arduino that you need to program Arduino Uno R3 board and the chip, the Atmega 328 that is inside it. So this is the program for it to work. I'm declaring these pins as output, and I'm having this Arduino ready. Let me actually show you this Arduino ready on the virtual ports. So we are going back a little bit. Actually, yeah, probably in Terra, because this was the easiest program to work with. So I'm choosing serial COM5, and check right now what is happening there. When I'm pressing OK, you see Arduino is ready. What is happening right now? All this code that you are seeing it here is programmed into my Atmel 328 into my Arduino Uno air tray is programmed with this code. This code is inside it, and I don't have to code anything after I'm writing this code in it. So this code is, you upload it once and you leave it there, and that's it. This code is practically interfacing between my computer, my C# program, this program, and the LEDs, these 4 LEDs. So this program is between these 2 elements. This is what is containing. These pin modes are set as outputs. I'm having in the setup. So when you first make a program in Arduino, you have 2 major, most important functions: the setup function and then the loop function. They are here. You can see them here. These 2 major functions. And after this, a lot of stuff that I didn't write. I actually find a tutorial. I was directed by Arduino guys. On Arduino forums, I was directed what to search to, what to read, and I read exactly what they told me to read. And to give you a very quick summary, what this code is doing is creating a starting marker and an end marker, starting with this symbol and ending with this symbol. And between this start marker and end marker, you can write your code that you want to be decrypted by this program. This is a program that is decrypting the code that you are sending from C#. Okay, so if you remember when I'm pressing here, yeah, you see this is an error. Failed to open COM5 is already open in another program, and it is indeed is open in this Terra term. But when I'm closing it, probably I should close this again and open it again. Now is Arduino is ready. You see, I'm getting this Arduino is ready, but this is a little bug, and this Arduino ready that you are seeing here in the code is not always appearing in my C# code for some very strange reason. I didn't figure it out, and the other guys from Arduino forum didn't really figure it out either. But everything is actually working fine, even if I'm not receiving this Arduino already acknowledge. Like I said, it is a little bit of a bug. This little acknowledge is appearing only if I'm opening Terra term right now. I'm changing COM5, I'm pressing OK, I'm receiving it here, and now I'm closing it. Now I'm opening here, and Arduino is ready, and I receive it. Now, until here, it worked by the book perfectly, okay? Now I'm closing it, and when I'm opening it again on the same COM port 5, and the same baud rate, so it's exactly the same address as before, I am not receiving, every time I'm closing and opening again this program from here, from C#, I'm not getting that acknowledge string that Arduino is ready acknowledging. I don't know what is the cause, exactly the cause, but it is working when I'm opening this Terra term 5, closing it, and then the first time I'm opening this, it will work correctly. But after that, after I'm closing it and opening it again from there, it will not work. So now this is a little bug that is helpful to debugging stuff, to figure out how and when is working everything. So this Terra term actually helped me immensely, actually, to understand that I'm actually receiving, that I'm actually connected to COM5, and this program from Arduino was spitting this Arduino is ready every time I was connecting to COM5. So that was very helpful to work with these 2 programs, Terra term 5 and Arduino. While I was programming Arduino, when I was testing Arduino, I was checking it with Terra term. That's what I was doing. I will close this parenthesis with the bug, because it was a very important bug, actually, and I was relying on this Arduino is ready for a very long time. Let's continue with the rest of the code. This is a special code that you have to write it in your Atmega 328 chip and leave it there. So this is what it's doing. This is a code I don't practically understand. I understand only fragments of it, but some parts is over my ears as well. In this function, show new data, you can see it here in the loop without any kind of delay. So very, very extremely quickly. I'm not sure what is the frequency, but is in terms of microseconds, probably. So very, very fast is looped. So it's reading everything line by line, and is looped a couple of thousands times per second. So here, this is the decryption. So when you are sending from here manually, right now I'm writing from my keyboard, I'm making this character, and then I'm adding 3, and I'm writing high. And when I'm pressing this, it actually opened my LED there, and I'm getting this feedback. This just in 3H. You see it here? This is the line that is popping out. This just in, and whatever code I send it is checking all these ifs, and when you're seeing this 3H here at this line is making it high, that digital pin is high, and is also updating it here in this serial print. Pretty much this is the decoding program that is sitting inside the Arduino chip, okay? You only have to program it once, and that's it. After that is just listening very quickly through all these ifs, is listening that serial whatever commands you are sending from C#, he will practically respond and also execute. It's fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. I'm very, very enthusiastic. Although I don't know the speed, how fast it is in execution. Okay, so this is the decoding program that is written once in Arduino chip, and that's it. Okay, so we'll leave this alone, and now let's concentrate. And now let's concentrate on this last code. Let me show it to you. Is this C#COM terminal, this one. We can see this is the form one where you can see it here, all this code. And in bin debug, this is the actual executable that is actually running the business. And here, control code, this is actually my last code that I added. Everything was practically copy pasted from a guy from Arduino forums. After many tries that I did, I tried a lot of stuff to figure it out, and in the end he was very kind to give me the right code that is doing the right thing. He was having it on here. This is actually his stuff that he is having. This was the original code, Visual Basic Terminal Emulator, but it's also having this C# terminal, as you can see here in the title, C# COM terminal. This is he's using another version of C#, as you can see here in the name. So I had to take his code and transfer it into my C# 2010 that I'm having. Yeah, you see Visual Studio 2010 Ultimate. So yeah, this is the version, which is a very old version, but his version that he's having, he actually gave me a Microsoft editor, a light visual editor from 2022 was probably the earliest program to work to add this program into it. I actually have its original. This is the program that I collected it from here. This is the folder that I collected it from. All this stuff that is having this Visual Basic terminal, but I explicitly took only this C# terminal. I created this zip file, so this is exactly unaltered code, and it didn't work in my version of Visual Studio. You see this extension, C# terminal.sln. And here, when you are opening this file that is having this extension, C# project, CS then you can actually enter and see everything inside it. Apparently, doesn't matter the Visual Studio version. So it didn't work from here, as I'm usually opening all my projects from. After I could enter in his project and actually see its user interface, how it was looking and working, I could transfer all the code into a new project that I made. This new project is called C# COM terminal. This is a specific Visual 2010 project file that I created from scrap, from zero. I copied his code, and also I copied all its controls. And more than that, I had to literally, for each control that is having, to add all the events from here. So I had to look on his code to check what this control, how many events is having, what are those events names, and correctly insert them here. And here on this settings, it's having a ton of them. If you are paying attention there on the name, you will see that they are changing. You see for each one of these, I had to actually, and also for this, you see all these guys, this is the same event for all this, but here it was different for each one. And this one it doesn't have an event per se, and that's pretty much what you are seeing here. And usually this is the general rule of everything you can find on internet. When you have something that is written in a very old program like my Visual Studio 10, you can take this save file and load it into your latest Visual 2024 or 25 or whatever year is the latest and the greatest Visual Studio version that you have. Theoretically, it will automatically update the very old deprecated code that you are seeing it here in my version and adapt it to your newest code. But my suggestion is to actually use, if possible, of course, 2010 older version that is running and behaving and is time tested and is extremely well calibrated and without stupid bugs or errors or whatever. Of course, this is my absolute subjective advice. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm suggesting. It's only a suggestion. If you want to listen to me and to get back to the basics, like I'm doing it here, like I'm used to do it, well, it's up to you. I'm only suggesting what is working for me and how well it is working for me. So it is working. If you are doing exactly as I'm showing you here. If you are doing in something else, you will have to adapt everything. And I will post all this code as well, all this C# code. I'll make it public. This is the code for these buttons that you are seeing it here. Pin to off, on. They are actually changing from off to on. You see this control Arduino pin is this function that you are seeing it here. So pretty much what I did, I created this function, and I'm using it in each button click with a specific pin number and the specific button, because you see here, this it depends which button you are pressing. That's why I'm putting this button 1, 2, 3. I had to specifically add this little detail there. After that, pin number is kind of hard-coded inside this thing, and also it's changing this this text on the button is changing it from pin off to pin on when the actual LED is changing. It is working as advertised, as is written here. Exactly, perfectly, at least in my case. So this is it for all this shebang. I'm very exceptionally happy with the progress of what I did here. And not me personally, I play my role. I did the work, I did some work, I put some hours. I'm actually staying on this code for about 3-4 days, probably. And I'm hitting my head on a wall with it for all this time. All the gratitude and all the praising goes to the guys on Arduino forums, because they actually, one guy actually did it mostly for me. he gave me his code, and he kindly directed me how to use it and where to use it. Me personally, I had to adapt everything to what I'm having here, my old Visual Studio 2010 user interface stuff that I had to change and to adapt. Also, this Arduino code, I had to read about it, to learn about it, and then to adapt it and to make this little code file that you are seeing here, to understand the mechanism, how everything it should be to actually work out. And you've seen it as I showed you. It is working out. So this is the last test, and this is what pin is that? Pin, I believe, is 3. Now is off, and pin on and off. Pin 2 on. Pin 4 if I want. Pin 2 off again. Pin 4 off again. And 5, 4, 3, and that. And then back again, 4, 5, 3, 1. And that's it. And it is working, and it's I'm very, very, very extra mega happy because everything is working. I can perform more interesting tests after this development that you are seeing here, using my C# environment through Arduino microcontroller. And we will see next what cool stuff I can make with it. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And also, please be kind and leave a like in the end. And if you learn something, well, leave a thank you. Also a like. And yes, that's it. Goodbye. Bye-bye. And see you later from your favorite artist electronist here, Mr. Q12. The greatest and the coolest. All right, bye-bye.